Chosen one, what you are about to hear may cut straight to the core. It might not be what your flesh wants to hear, but your spirit has been crying out for this. God said, "Repeat this 9 times with me." The same God who spoke the stars into existence has guided your steps to this moment, because he has something to say to you, something he has been waiting a very long time for you to hear and repeat with him. Before we go any deeper, understand this with all your heart. Heaven is not silent, and you are not invisible. The Spirit of God has been moving behind the scenes, shifting things in the unseen realm, bringing you into alignment with his plan in a way you might not fully understand yet. You are stepping into a season where what you speak begins to shape what you see, where the prayers you whispered in the dark are no longer distant hopes, but living answers moving toward you. The things that once felt far away, unreachable, reserved for others and not for you, are standing at your door. Yet, listen carefully, because this is where many people miss their breakthrough. When God calls a chosen one to speak, to repeat, to declare, it is a sign that the blessing is already prepared. The table is set, the door is unlocked, but he has chosen to use your voice as the key. He needs your agreement, your faith, your willingness to open your mouth and speak life so that what has been stored up can finally be released. If you are truly chosen, your spirit already knows this. You feel it as that pressure in your chest, that stirring in your soul, that quiet but insistent voice saying, "Do not click away. This belongs to you. This message has your name on it." Your spirit has been waiting for this alignment. Right now, before we go deeper, pause for a moment and do 3 simple but powerful things. First, like this video, as an act of agreement, a small outward step that mirrors the inner yes of your heart. It is a gesture that says, "I receive this. I connect with this. I am here." Second, subscribe so you do not miss what God will release next, because this is not a one-time moment, but part of a journey, a community of people waking up to the call of God on their lives. And your simple action helps push this movement forward. Third, comment the number 99. Write it boldly. That number is more than digits on a screen. It is a declaration in the spiritual realm, a signal that says, "I am ready, I am aligned, I am listening." Remember how Jesus spoke of leaving the 99 to go after the one. As you write 99, you are saying, "I am part of what God is gathering, and I am also the one he came after." And to those who are supporting us and giving to this ministry, whether through the comment section or the super thanks feature, understand this: you are not just a giver, you are a co-laborer. We are partners in this divine assignment. Your seed isn't random, it is alignment. It is your way of saying, "God, I am ready to move when you speak." If you are truly chosen, something inside you will not let you walk away. You will stay until the very end, because your spirit knows that God has been waiting patiently for you to repeat certain words with him, to step into an agreement that will shift your life. So, take a breath. Open your heart to the one who made it, and step with me into what God has prepared for you. You have been chosen for something profound, something greater than what you see in your daily routine, greater than your current frustrations, greater than the weight you have been carrying. Today, that quiet call becomes urgent. Today, God is saying, "I need your attention, I need your heart, I need your voice." This moment is holy ground for your soul. It is not a coincidence that you are hearing this now. God has been patiently waiting for you to awaken to who you truly are in him. To remember that before anyone gave you a name, he already called you by his. In Jeremiah 1:5, God says, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you." That means your purpose is older than your problems. The words you are about to speak are not empty phrases. They are keys that align your spirit with God's purpose for you, like turning your heart toward a true north that never shifts. It is time to pause everything. Let the noise fall to the background. The messages, the notifications, the worries, the tasks, they can wait. This moment is more important than your to-do list. God is inviting you into a higher purpose, a season of clarity where confusion begins to break, a season where spiritual breakthrough becomes your new normal. This is not about reciting religious lines without meaning. This is about understanding that your voice carries power when you speak with intention, when you speak with faith. Proverbs says, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue." And today you will decide which one you partner with. God has not accidentally chosen you. He has specifically chosen you with your story, your scars, your strengths, and even your weaknesses to carry out a divine purpose that no one else can fulfill in exactly the way you can. When you open your mouth and speak these sacred words, you step into a flow of divine guidance that begins to shape your choices, your perspective, and your steps. Will you answer the call today, or will you scroll past the very door you have been praying to find? You might feel alone right now. You might feel misunderstood, overlooked, or disconnected from others, and even disconnected from God. But listen to this truth. Heaven is listening. The creator of the universe, the one who tells the sun when to rise and the oceans where to stop, has his attention on you in this moment. Psalm 34:18 says, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." You may feel broken, but you are not abandoned. Every word you speak has the potential to align you with the spiritual forces that shape your life. God is not distant, not an absent father watching from far away. He is near, waiting for you to reach out, to speak with a genuine heart, to say, "I am here, I need you, I choose you." Imagine every sincere word you speak as a key that unlocks a door in heaven, a door of peace, a door of provision, a door of guidance. You might not see what is happening in the spiritual realm, but there is movement. You might not feel different right away, but something begins to shift. The presence of God is leaning toward you, listening, ready to respond. Your words matter, your intentions matter. Your faith, even if it feels small, matters. Jesus said that faith as small as a mustard seed can move mountains, so do not underestimate what can happen when your tiny seed of faith meets his limitless power. So speak, chosen one. Speak these sacred words with your whole heart, knowing that what you are about to say is not just sound, it is spirit. It is waiting in the unseen world. God is waiting, and heaven is listening. Your prayers are not bouncing off ceilings. They are being heard, gathered, and answered according to God's perfect wisdom and timing. Do not hesitate. Do not hold back. The moment is now. You may be asking, why these 9 words? Why repeat them? Why is this important? The truth is, these words are not random. Each one holds a spiritual weight. Each one is a doorway into alignment with God's design. When you repeat these 9 names, you are not playing with magic. You are not chasing superstition. You are focusing your heart on dimensions of God's nature and his ways. It is a spiritual practice of agreement, a way of saying, "God, I acknowledge who you are. I align with your character, and I open myself to your work in me." God does not ask for empty rituals or mindless repetition. Jesus even warned against vain repetitions without heart. God seeks intentional actions that shift your inner life, that open your heart, that align your thinking with his truth. By repeating these sacred names with faith, you are stepping into a deeper awareness of God's presence and His purposes. Think of each word as a tool, a spiritual instrument that can break chains, unlock understanding, and invite healing. Repetition has power. Just like a seed watered daily grows into a tree, the words you water with your voice grow into realities in your life. As you repeat these 9 sacred words, you are planting seeds of clarity, healing, and abundance. You are choosing to tune your soul to the frequency of God's love, His wisdom, His holiness. And as you keep speaking, the static begins to clear, and His voice becomes easier to recognize. There are seasons in life when it feels like the battle has been going on forever, when every step forward is followed by 2 steps back, when you cry out, "How much longer can I endure this?" Maybe you have been carrying a heavy emotional load, worrying about your future, your family, your finances, your health. Maybe the pain you carry is not visible to anyone else, but it is heavy to you. Hear this clearly: you have suffered long enough. The weight you have carried, the nights you have cried, the heartbreaks that felt like they shattered you beyond repair. God has seen every one of them. Psalm 56 speaks of God collecting your tears in a bottle. Not one of them was wasted or ignored. This right now is a turning point. Heaven is declaring over you, it is enough. This is the moment where the story begins to shift. When you speak these sacred words today, you are stepping into a new chapter, a chapter of spiritual clarity, emotional healing, and breakthrough. You are not defined by your pain. You are not defined by your failures or your past. You are defined by the call of God on your life, by the love of a Father who never gave up on you. As you speak these words, picture the weight beginning to lift from your shoulders. See the chains of old patterns, old fears, and old lies breaking. God is ready to release you, to lead you from bondage into freedom, from confusion into direction, from sorrow into joy, in a world that never stops, that constantly pulls at your attention. Your spirit is starving for stillness. You need this pause more than you realize. Right now, God is inviting you to step out of the noise, to breathe deeply, and to reconnect with Him. Psalm 46:10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." Stillness is not emptiness, it is awareness. It is the space where you remember who He is and who you are in Him. You are being called to lay down the rush, the constant scrolling, the racing thoughts, and to simply be present with your Creator. Your soul needs this. You have tended to your responsibilities, to your image, to other people's expectations, but have you tended to your inner life, to your relationship with God? Right now, He is placing a sacred invitation in front of you. Realign, reconnect, reignite your spirit. By speaking these 9 sacred words, you are giving your soul what it has been craving. You are opening a window for the breath of God to flow into your life again. The world can wait. This moment is between you and God. Let a quietness rise within you, even if everything outside is noisy. In that stillness, you will find that everything you truly need has always been in Him. There is power in repetition when it is filled with faith and intention. When you speak these 9 sacred names, Tetragrammaton, Shekinah, Metatron, Ein Sof, Logos, Elohim, Sephirot, Ruch, Hagios, you are not just stringing together mystical syllables. You are meditating on aspects of the one true God and the ways He reveals Himself. Each name carries a resonance, a meaning that can draw your heart toward a deeper reverence. Tetragrammaton points to the sacred name of God. The I Am revealed to Moses, the God who simply is, unchanging and eternal. Shekinah points to the manifest presence of God, the glory that dwells among his people, the nearness that comforts and transforms. Metatron symbolizes divine order and record, reminding you that heaven has not lost track of your story, that there is a higher wisdom guiding your journey. Ein Sof speaks of God's infinite, boundless nature, the one who has no limit, no edge, no shortage, the eternal source of life. Logos reminds you of the Word, the divine reason and order made flesh in Christ, through whom all things were created and in whom all things hold together. Elohim is the mighty creator, the God who spoke creation into being, the one who formed you with intention and care. Sephirot represents the many ways God's nature flows into creation. His wisdom, his strength, his beauty, his sovereignty, all interacting to shape your life. Ruach is the breath, the Spirit of God, the wind that hovered over the waters in Genesis, the breath that gives life to dry bones. Hagios means holy, set apart, pure, calling you to remember that God is not like anyone else and that he has called you to live in alignment with his holiness. These names are not a formula, but a focus. As you speak them with humility and faith, let your heart ponder what they mean. Let them pull you into awe, feel them resonate in your being, as you remember that the God you call on is bigger than your problems, closer than your breath, and more powerful than anything that stands against you. In the quiet moments of your life, when you are unsure, when the future feels blurry and your heart feels tired, know this: God has been waiting for you. You may have drifted. You may have tried to numb the ache with distractions. You may have doubted that God would still want you after all you have done and the ways you have fallen, yet his love for you has not changed. In Luke 15, Jesus tells a story about a father who runs toward his returning child. That is how God feels about you. He is not pacing with anger. He is not folding his arms in disappointment. He is scanning the horizon of your heart, watching for the moment you turn, ready to run toward you. This return is not about perfection. It is about direction. It is about desire. Today is your day to look toward him again and say, I want you. I need you. I am coming home. You are never too far gone. No matter what happened, no matter how long you have been away, the moment you speak these sacred names, you are stepping into alignment with his love again. Your return is met not with punishment, but with peace, with mercy, with a fresh start. Speaking these words is not just ritual. It is a living act of faith that pulls you closer to his heart. Every word is like a thread stitching your soul back into the fabric of God's presence. Each time you speak with faith, you open a little wider to his guidance, his comfort, his correction, and his encouragement. These words, spoken with intention, hold power to unlock clarity where there was confusion, healing where there were wounds, and guidance where there was aimlessness. Every repetition is like a step. Step by step, word by word, you are moving closer to his purpose. Hebrews 11:6 says that God rewards those who earnestly seek him. As you keep speaking, you are seeking. As you keep seeking, you are drawing near. And as you draw near, God promises to draw near to you. Before you repeat these sacred names, I want you to do something simple yet powerful. Write the number 99, type it, speak it. Let it mark this moment. This number symbolizes completion, a cycle reaching fulfillment, and a new chapter beginning. It hints at the love of the shepherd who cares so deeply about even one, yet also gathers the 99 into his care. Let every stroke of your fingers or pen represent a step toward clarity, toward purpose, toward spiritual maturity. This simple act becomes a sign between you and God, that you are not just listening casually, you are engaging with intention. In every journey of transformation, there comes a pivotal moment where you must choose. Do I continue as I am, or do I step into the unknown with faith? Obedience is the key that unlocks breakthrough, and attention is the light that reveals the path. When you hear God's call and you respond, even in something as simple as speaking these 9 sacred words, you ignite a chain reaction in your life. By choosing to obey this invitation and to repeat these names with reverence and faith, you are surrendering to a higher purpose. You might not see every detail ahead, but you are choosing to trust the one who does. The breakthrough you have been longing for often begins with something that looks small, almost insignificant. Yet in the spiritual realm, it is massive. God does not call the perfect. He calls the willing. He calls the ones who will say, "I do not understand everything, but I trust you. I will take this step." Your obedience today will start a shift that you will see unfold in the days, weeks, and months to come. Faith is not just a belief you hold in your mind. It is a living force that moves through your choices, your words, your actions. James wrote that faith without works is dead because real faith breathes, moves, acts. You are invited to let your faith act. When you speak these sacred words aloud, you are not just hoping passively for change. You are inviting it. You are collaborating with God's power. Maybe you have felt tired, discouraged, spiritually dry. Maybe your faith feels like a fading ember instead of a blazing fire. But remember Isaiah 40:31, which says that those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. As you declare these names with trust, that renewal begins. The same power that raised Jesus from the dead is working in you. By calling on God with sincere faith, you are unlocking that power to move in your situation, to bring light into dark places, to bring order into chaos, to bring hope into despair. Faith in action causes ripples. It changes your inner world first, then your outer world. The more you speak with trust, the more your faith becomes visible, tangible, a solid ground beneath your feet. You have waited long enough. The days of endless delay, of postponing your obedience, of saying, "I will start tomorrow," are over. There comes a point where God says, "Now, this is that point." God is calling you out of the shadows of hesitation and fear and into the light of clarity and commitment. You might have told yourself that you will wait for the perfect time. But there is no more perfect time than the one God chooses, and that time is now. The sacred words you are about to speak will initiate something, but only if you choose to act. Do not let fear keep you in a familiar but unhealthy place. Do not let doubt silence your voice. God is asking for your yes today, not next week. When you speak these names, you are setting in motion a wave of transformation that begins in this very moment. The life you have been waiting to live, the peace you have been craving, the sense of purpose you have been missing, all of it starts when you move from hearing to doing. Imagine yourself standing at a doorway that has been in front of you for years. Today, when you speak, you are finally taking the step through. Something extraordinary is happening even now. By pausing your scrolling and listening with your heart engaged, you are waking up something within you that may have been sleeping for a long time. Your soul has been longing for this. This is more than a motivational moment. It is a spiritual awakening. Awakening is not a one-second event. It is a process, a series of light bulb moments that draw you closer to God, closer to truth, closer to who you were always meant to be. As you speak these 9 sacred names, your spiritual eyes begin to open wider. You start to see your life, your relationships, your choices, and your future from a divine perspective. Isaiah 61 says, "Arise, shine, for your light has come as you speak, you are arising." As these truths sink in, you begin to shine. The confusion that once filled your mind begins to lose its grip. Peace becomes more accessible. Wisdom becomes closer. The path that once looked blurry begins to clear. This is not just a prayer you are about to pray. It is the beginning of a rebirth inside you. There have been times when your spirit felt heavy, loaded down by disappointment and weariness. But right now, God is offering you a way to release that heaviness. These sacred words are not just a ritual. They are a lifeline. They are like oxygen to a suffocating heart. When you speak them aloud, imagine them as a soothing balm, healing old wounds, calming anxious thoughts, and restoring your strength. God's love is not theoretical. It is active. It pours into the places you have hidden, into the cracks of your brokenness. Your spirit was never meant to carry the weight of the world alone. Jesus said, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." As you repeat these words, let that rest begin. Feel the burden lifting, even if only a little at first. Each repetition loosens another chain. Hope has not left you. It has been waiting, and now it is rising again. You were not created to live with constant sadness, fear, or emptiness. Joy has always been part of God's plan for you. That does not mean life will be perfect, but it does mean that the deep anchored joy that comes from knowing you are loved, known, and guided is meant to be yours. You have cried, you have endured, you have walked through dark valleys, but God is giving you permission to smile again. By speaking these sacred words, you are embracing the joy that flows from alignment with His will. Each word shifts your focus from what is wrong to who is with you. Your new season, a season filled with unexpected blessings, favor, and genuine joy, begins now. It is time to lay down the old scripts of unworthiness, regret, and shame. God's grace is inviting you into a new story. This is your season of breakthrough, the very moment you began to open your heart. The transformation started. As you speak, heaven is responding. Have you ever felt as if the air around you was thick with tension, fear, or heaviness, as if something unseen was pressing down on you? That atmosphere is real, but it is not unchangeable. The moment you speak these sacred words with faith, the atmosphere around you will begin to shift. Your environment responds to the spiritual authority you carry when you stand in agreement with God. The change is not only external, it is deeply internal. The heaviness begins to lift, the fog of confusion starts to thin. The oppressive thoughts that whispered lies about your future lose their volume. Your words, spoken in faith, send shockwaves through the unseen realm. Picture yourself standing in a storm under dark clouds. Then you speak words of divine truth, and suddenly those clouds begin to part. Rays of light pierce through. That is the power God has placed in your mouth. When you call on Him with sincerity, the shift is real. You may still see challenges, but you will feel different facing them. Courage will rise. Hope will stand taller than fear. God is ready to move on your behalf in ways beyond what you have imagined. But He invites you to participate through your words, your agreement, your yes. Your blessings are not far away in some unreachable future. They are already in motion. As you listen now, there are answers forming, doors aligning, people being positioned, opportunities being prepared. God is not scrambling to help you. He has already prepared what you need. Jesus said in Mark 11:24 that when you pray and believe you have received, it will be yours. In the spirit realm, what you are believing for has already begun its journey toward you. It might be peace in your mind, restoration in a relationship, provision for a need, clarity for a decision. Like the sunrise after a long night, you may not see it fully yet, but it is inevitable. Night does not last forever, and neither will your present struggle. When you speak these sacred names, you are aligning yourself with what God has already ordained. Your faith opens the channel. Your obedience clears the path. You are moving from a mindset of lack into a position of divine provision. Get your heart ready. When these blessings arrive, they will not be small. They will be abundant, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Then know this: God's timing is flawless. He is never early, never late, always intentional. What He sends into your life is not random. It is strategic. Right now, through your simple act of listening and speaking in faith, a stage is being set for a new chapter. This chapter includes miracles, favor, and clarity you did not know you could have. God's gifts always connect to His purpose. Whether it is healing in your body, restoration in your family, open doors in your career, or peace in your mind, what He is about to release next will carry you closer to His plan. Your waiting has not been wasted. It has shaped you, prepared you, strengthened you, so that when the release comes, you can carry it well. This is not a small blessing that barely scratches the surface. This is a significant release of favor that opens doors you never dreamed would open for you. And these blessings will not only touch your life, they will overflow to those around you. As God moves in you, He will move through you, impacting friends, family, even strangers. Are you ready for what is coming? Trust Him, yield to His timing. When He moves, it will be more beautiful and more powerful than anything you could have planned. Delays are frustrating. They make you feel stuck, forgotten, overlooked. But many delays are not denials, they are preparation. Yet, there comes a moment when the delay breaks. That moment is tied to alignment, obedience, and faith. The moment you speak these sacred words with genuine trust, something that has been held back will begin to move. The doors that would not budge will start to open. The situations that refuse to shift will finally change. God has been preparing you and protecting you. Some things were delayed because you were not ready or because the timing was not safe. But now, as you step into this moment of alignment, God is saying, it is time. Your obedience is unlocking movement. The chains of stagnation are snapping. What felt impossible is becoming possible. The plans and dreams that seemed frozen in place are thawing. Do not underestimate the spiritual power of this moment. Do not say, it is just words. In God's kingdom, words create worlds. As you speak, barriers are breaking. Your delay ends here. There have been doors in your life that stayed shut no matter how hard you knocked. Opportunities that slipped away, people who walked out, paths that never opened. Some of those closed doors left you hurt and questioning your worth. But hear this: God is the master of doors. Revelation speaks of the one who opens and no one can shut, and who shuts and no one can open. Some doors closed to protect you. Others closed because God had something better. Now, as you speak these sacred words in faith, the doors that are meant for you will begin to open. Opportunities you thought were gone forever will reappear in surprising ways. New doors, doors you never even considered, will swing wide. Whether in your career, your creativity, your relationships, or your spiritual life, God is about to elevate you. Rejection will be replaced with redirection. What felt like an ending will be revealed as a rerouting. Expect miracles, expect unexpected favor, expect doors of influence, impact, and healing to open. You are walking into a future filled with grace. There is a divine order to everything you have walked through. The random moments, the heartbreaks, the blessings, the closed doors, the breakthroughs, the delays. All of it was part of a bigger picture God is painting. When you act in faith, God begins to align circumstances in ways you could never arrange on your own. The simple act of speaking these sacred names is not small, it is a catalyst. God has prepared what you need, and your obedience is the switch that turns on the flow. You will find that suddenly the right people show up at the right time. The right opportunities appear when you need them. The answers come when you ask. Romans 8:28 reminds us that God works all things together for good for those who love Him. As you speak, that promise is unfolding over your life. What once looked like chaos is becoming clarity. What once seemed meaningless is being woven into your testimony. Every step of faith you take today is being used to pull you closer to the destiny written over you before you were born. Throughout your journey, there have been people who doubted you, criticized you, misunderstood you, or even tried to pull you down. Maybe their words stung. Maybe their actions made you question your worth. But God is about to elevate you in such a way that their voices will fade into the background. He is preparing a table for you in the presence of your enemies, just as Psalm 23 describes. That does not mean God hates them. It means your blessing will be undeniable. Those who try to limit you will watch as God lifts you. Those who spoke against you will see that God's hand was on you the entire time. You will not need to argue, defend yourself, or prove anything. God's favor will speak loudly enough. Your change will be visible, your growth will be obvious, your peace will be unexplainable except for God. Their criticism will lose its grip. Their doubt will lose its power. You will walk in a confidence that comes from knowing who called you and who covers you. This is your moment of elevation. As God lifts you, remember to stay humble, to give Him glory, and to extend grace even to those who hurt you. And it all begins as you open your heart, use your voice, and say yes to the sacred words He is inviting you to speak today. Amen.